Hello there and welcome to an episode of Rantz. It's Crisandro. As you can tell, probably from my voice, um, just feeling a little bit on the ill side. So yeah, I won't be able to make it to the game tonight. Not like I was going to anyway, because I had already sold my ticket. Um, I'll give a reason why. It's not like a high and mighty thing. It's just literally a preference thing. But just a couple of things to address. I've actually had to look back at a couple of videos I've done, for the aftermath videos. Burnley one, where we the last home game, of course, uh, where we won, and the video didn't last too long. But I just seen how corrupted the video actually is. I'm thinking, wow. Geez, I do need a new camera because although that camera started off quite well, I mean, it's the one I'm using now. But it seems that it just gets absolutely messed up as soon as it overheats, and the battery doesn't last too long on it now. So I guess that's why it's overheating as well. So yeah, I mean that's going to have to be sorted, and I did kind of try and put things right with the other day on Sunday after the FA Cup final, where I had to go when I got back to the hotel, just remake a video and actually make a rants video out of it. Because obviously that one corrected as well. So yeah, now been brought the issue been brought to my attention, so those are being fixed. On to the purpose of this video, Spurs versus Manchester City. I mean, wow, a lot of these Spurs channels out there are talking about how they want to see Spurs throw this game, and there's this expectation. I've been collared a few times on the group as well, especially from people questioning whether I'm a Spurs fan or not, just because I am desperate to see Spurs win a game. This is the weird bit, because and I've kind of taken it to heart myself, and the reason being that I'm a Spurs supporter. As you would have seen, I put money into the club. I go home, away, Europe, abroad, the world, wherever Spurs are playing, I try and get there. Obviously, we would love to have gone to Singapore the other year, but that didn't happen. but but yeah, so I mean, I go as far. Hopefully that proves any Spurs credentials I have. This whole thing about wanting to lay down for City and getting angry if Spurs win because their hands are titled to Arsenal now. As you know, I could not care less about Arsenal. And I know other people have heard that and said, yeah, I don't care about Arsenal as well. But there is no but with me. I'd rather see Spurs put in a performance, and as you know, I don't really care about Champions League, but in this occasion, I'd celebrate getting a Champions League spot if if we win tonight. I'd sooner see Spurs develop and actually try and get better and try and improve than I would ever so much as care about any possible help that we might give Arsenal. I had this argument in the group. A Spurs fan who claims to have been a Spurs fan since the '60s and whatnot, and he's very adamant that that you can't understand. It must be a new breed of Spurs fan that doesn't want to concentrate on what Arsenal are doing. If that was the case back in the day, then that explains why we barely had success. I mean, we had success in the '80s, but I'm actually wondering whether we had enough success back then to actually meant that Spurs fans focused on Spurs getting better, or whether it just meant Spurs fans focused on getting another trophy just so that you could show Arsenal that, hey, we stopped you from winning this. That's kind of how it feels. It feels that Spurs fans celebrated winning a trophy, which meant that Arsenal couldn't win it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how these talks. And then, there was obviously one prominent fan on there who's obviously also a Levy outer, um, who basically said to me that any true fan would want Spurs to lose, so it stops Arsenal winning the title. And if it's a case of that you can only prove your Spurs credentials by focusing more on Arsenal than you do on your own club, then yeah, I admit it. I'm not a Spurs fan. I admit it. I'm not a Spurs fan, because if being a Spurs fan means that you are more interested in Arsenal than you are in Spurs, then count me out. Drop me off this goddamn forsaken merry-go-round, because that's not Spurs fandom to me. I admit it, I'm not a Spurs fan. I'm a Spurs supporter. I support Spurs. Clues in the title. Clues in the name. Whenever I see these these banners that say, the game's about glory. There's ones I made on these channels and whatnot. Games about glory, this and the other. Games about passion, and at the bottom it says, and hating fucking Arsenal. That's tagged on at the end. Every single song, every single Spurs fan, even songs about our players that have Arsenal tagged on in the end. I mean, that's why I never sing Giovanni Lo Celso song, because although a cleaner version has been made of that, fans in the stadium will still sing the one that has the Arsene Wenger tag at the very end, and I refuse to sing it. It's got to the point now where Spurs fans are boring now. Are boring with their just to try to outdo each other to show who hates Arsenal the most. Nobody talks about. None of them talk about how much, if they have any kind of love for Spurs. If their main pull go to the stadiums to show how much they hate Arsenal, then please, if there's a way of just changing the mindset and keeping them out, I would love to. I sold my ticket tonight. Well, I refuse to go tonight because I know that we have a very good record at home to Cities, but so I'm just taking this as an example. Whether we win tonight or not is another thing, but I'll address that as well. If we score first against City, there will be an atmosphere that's just going to be kind of cold. If I score first against City and I start celebrating, I know there'll be people around me that will get angry. If we score first against City, and the players are celebrating, they'll feel a bit awkward because there'll be loads of Spurs fans there who will feel angry or whatnot, are absolutely pissed off that we are scoring a City or not. Conversely, if City score first and if they win, I don't want to be in a situation where I am upset and there are cheers in the stadium because City has scored. If City actually win the game, I don't want to be the only one there livid and angry because we'd lost the game where there's celebrations going on. I don't want to be in a stadium if City win. I don't want to be there where I'm annoyed and people just come up to me and people will come because people just seem to just think you have the same. People just come up to me and say, "Oh, don't worry. On the plus side, that means Arsenal won't win the title." It's pathetic. It's so small-minded. It's so petty. It's so tiny. There's just no ambition. And the irony of all that, is those ones talking about Levy having no ambition. They're the ones who will be doing the biggest. They'll be the ones having the biggest celebration if we lose tonight. And yet it is Levy. And yet it's people like me apparently that have no ambition. You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes at Tottenham is the most pathetic environment to be in, and it's just sometimes I just can't compute it. My eyes were opened during that season where we challenged for the title against Leicester. I'll literally be the only one either in the stadium or in the pub afterwards, getting nervous, getting excited, celebrating, and then go straight for the league table to look at how close we are to Leicester, and yet everybody else around me will be talking about, we've increased the gap on Arsenal. Oh, mind the gap, Arsenal. It is pathetic. It really is. And if I'm going to be sat there in the stadium listening to Spurs fans getting annoyed if we are winning or celebrating if we are losing, that I don't want to be around that. So that is just my personal thought. That's why I decided not to go tonight. And I don't know if anyone else agrees with me. According to the guy in the group, well, sure, remain the guys in the group, it is 100%. According to him, it's 100% embarrassing. It is embarrassing, 100%, if a Spurs fan does not celebrate a team losing to Manchester City. It's 100% embarrassing if a Spurs fan wants to win tonight. His words. What a fan base we've got. And I even saw a press conference. I mean, Ange Postecoglou came out with a press conference where he says that if you look in the halls of the reverence halls in the stadium, there are no trophies there for the only trophies there are for winning stuff. There's no trophies out there for, good bantering or whatever. I can't remember what the term was. Yeah. And he's right. It is, and you just kind of wonder. You just kind of wonder what goes through the head. Do we even deserve this kind of success when we've got a fan base like this? I mean, in the group, I do kind of clown on the fan base enough because I just think there is a lack of ambition within the fan base, and yet the very same ones who are showing this lack of ambition when it comes to Spurs also start questioning Levy's ambition, and that's the annoying bit. But it is what it is. I mean, I decided not to go because I don't want to be sat in this very stupid, strange, low mentality atmosphere of where 60,000 people are cheering alongside Manchester City if they beat us. It's pathetic, but it is what it is, and if that happens, I just never will forgive. It is what it is. But anyway, I don't really want. I mean, at this point, I don't really care. I know people will respond by saying, "Oh, but come on, do you really want to see Arsenal win the title?" Like I said many times, and I'll say it again, I don't care. I want to see Spurs challenging Arsenal for the title. I want to see Spurs challenging City for the title. I want to see Spurs challenging Liverpool for the title. That is all I care about. Whoever wins it, wins it. I really want to see it as real, like a manufactured club winning the title, but that's already happened 3 times. Going to be might happen on fourth on the bounce. Who cares? I don't get that's annoying, but it's annoying that I have to keep explaining it every time. I know full well that the vast majority of our fan base hates Arsenal more than they love Spurs. I already know that. I already know that, but I don't really want to have it shoved down my throat if I happen to support Spurs more than Arsenal. More than I hate Arsenal. I don't even give a fuck about Arsenal. So I'm just going to say, I don't want to have it shoved down my throat if I happen to support Spurs. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, thanks for listening to this rant. It's just had to get it off my chest because the last 48 to 72 hours has annoyed me. And especially I checked this morning, and Villa drew with Liverpool last night. And I saw that Arsenal had beaten Manchester United at Old Trafford. I didn't actually know about that because I was had a cup final, as you know, and I was really interested in the men's result. But so I just had to put my pennies worth, because everywhere everyone's talking about wanting to see City lose. So I wanted to just offer the alternative view that not all Spurs fans are dumb like that. It's just as it is. Anyway, thank you for listening. I don't want to offend people by by my take on it, but the alternative view has to be heard. Thanks for listening. Come on, you Spurs tonight. I'll be watching from home. Hopefully you smash City. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.